These are some of the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns. Like, comment, and subscribe.
This speedrunner starts off in the air, then they approach a Wish.com recreation of a tree, and when they break it, inside is a bunch of items. Planks, sticks, and apples. Buddy, who are you trying to fool here? So they make a crafting table and craft some tools. A pickaxe, an axe, a shovel, and wait, what was that? You can hear the sound of someone breaking blocks. Well, they walk towards the sounds, and there's a gigantic hole. The speedrunner jumps down this suspicious ditch, and they fall directly into an ancient city. What in tarnation? They try to make a stone pickaxe using tough blocks, but it doesn't work. And all of a sudden, cobblestone just appears out of thin air. Okay. They craft a stone pickaxe and mine a ton of iron ore. But how are they gonna smelt that iron ore? Well, more cobblestone is just pooped from the sky. So they craft a furnace, make an iron pickaxe, and then they conveniently find diamonds. They leave the ancient city, and on their way out, they walk right past a warden, and it just stands there. The speedrunner runs through a lush cave, places their furnace, and they waste a ton of time smelting their 4 stacks of iron. But it's okay, because their portal just starts making itself. The speedrunner suspiciously walks to a specific area of the cave, but keep a close eye on their experience levels. There's an extremely subtle cut, and they walk back to their magical nether portal, and out of nowhere, the speedrunner suddenly has flint in their inventory. They craft flint and steel, light the portal, and enter the nether. And sometimes in the nether, pro speedrunners will utilize a strategy called render distance manipulation. This speedrunner tries to do that, but instead, they just start changing all of their Minecraft settings. Yeah, I don't think turning clouds on and off is gonna do anything for you, buddy. So he explores the nether, and wait, why is he walking off that cliff? What? Yeah, I kid you not, the path he's walking on is literally building itself. Well, he follows his yellow brick road, and after a while, it leads him right to a bastion. The speedrunner actually finds some really good loot in the bastion, like blocks of gold and golden apples. But I have a feeling the piglins here are paid actors, because the speedrunner throws iron ingots at them, and they get 13 ender pearls. Maybe changing the cloud settings did do something. They make their way out of the bastion and back to their magical pathway, heading back to the nether portal. And once the speedrunner is in the overworld, they start using questionable methods to locate the stronghold. They start placing random blocks and signs with numbers on them. This guy's a real rocket scientist. But he presses F3, lines his crosshairs up with a very specific angle, and throws an ender pearl. And as soon as he lands, he just starts digging straight down, violating the #1 rule in Minecraft. But someone's gonna have to explain to me what he did, because somehow it worked. Yeah, he dug straight into a stronghold. And on top of that, the end portal only needs 2 more eyes of ender. But wait a second, when did the speedrunner get this blaze rod? He makes blaze powder and crafts an eye of ender, completes the portal, and enters the end. And so far, maybe the speedrunner could have gotten away with cheating, but when they're in the end, they walk to the edge of the island and they find Iron Man? This one was legit. This speedrunner spawns in a jungle biome, then they use their elytra to fly. Afterwards, they beat an illager raid and ride a minecart to the stronghold. Then the speedrunner climbs on the wall and shoots a bunch of arrows. Wait, this is the wrong footage.
This speedrun is totally legit. They create their world, they've got a timer, and there's a frog just hanging out. But take note here, because this frog is gonna be very, very important. This speedrunner literally picks the frog up, puts it into their hotbar, and starts using it like a weapon. How many Minecraft updates has it been? Is this a new feature? They are twirling around this tree until they literally fling themselves across the world, landing directly into a village. Wow, that is so lucky. So the speedrunner exits the water, and right in front of them is an iron golem. At which point the speedrunner uses the frog to reach out towards the iron golem with the frog's tongue, starts flinging the iron golem all over the place, giving it tons of damage. They get an iron ingot, they get a log from the tree, and holy cow, the frog just crafted a pickaxe, and now it's twirling it around, digging so far down into the ground, bringing lava back up to the surface level? I cannot believe my eyes. The speedrunner then uses their frog to... Wait, what just happened to that wandering trader? Oh my goodness, they are shooting out obsidian into the lava. The speedrunner uses their frog gun to consume an iron golem and craft a lightning rod, at which point lightning just randomly strikes, lighting the nether portal. This is the craziest RNG I have ever witnessed in my entire life. But hang on a second here, I think something's fake about this speedrun, because the timer suddenly is sped up. Very suspicious. In the nether, the frog gun goes crazy. The tongues reach out towards all the piglins. The speedrunner is whacking them all over the ground, and with each hit, they are dropping tons of ender pearls. The speedrunner speedrunner's frog reaches out, picks up all the ender pearls. It eats a fire charge from the ghast, using the fire charge to fling the speedrunner across the lava lake, eating the ghast, using the ghast to bounce off of the surface of the lava, and wow, how lucky, they find a blaze. Wait a second, why is the speedrunner putting their frog down? The frog eats the blaze, or most of the blaze, crafting some sort of helicopter from the blaze rods. The speedrunner and the frog and the helicopter slash through the blaze, churning through the blocks of netherrack, going directly through bedrock and the void, somehow passing through bedrock in the overworld, digging right through the ground up to the surface. This is truly the craziest speedrun I have ever seen. At this point, the frog releases an Eye of Ender. Is the frog speedrunning Minecraft, or is the speedrunner? The frog reaches its tongue out towards the Eye of Ender, once again rotating, flying across the map, and we got the iron pickaxe tool back, mining through the ground directly into the stronghold. And holy cow, that is the portal room. What in tarnation? The frog ejects the Eyes of Ender towards the end portal, but hang on a second, the end portal was just destroyed. What is the speedrunner gonna do here? Well, the speedrunner digs back up to the surface, and the frog elongates its tongue into the stratosphere. Suddenly, the screen is shaking, and oh my goodness, it brings the end island to the overworld. How is any of this possible? So the speedrunner flings up to the end island. The frog starts snatching up the end crystals one by one, shooting end crystals at the dragon, killing the ender dragon. But hang on a second, how long has the timer been going backwards for? Man, this guy is cheating. What's going on though? The speedrunner literally is turning the entire world into the void in world record time of 1 minute and 12 seconds. Totally legit.
This speedrun, I have so many questions. They immediately go underground to mine for diamonds, and what do you know, they find diamonds. But they discover an unusual bedrock chasm in front of them. So the speedrunner explores this area, finding a mysterious hole leading to the void. Is that the void or a block? They jump into the hole, and Minecraft is looking a little different here. Is this a new update to the game, or am I missing something? I've clearly missed some big updates to the game. This speedrun looks normal, but it's not. They spawn in, find a village, and get some hay. Then the speedrunner starts punching this tree. And there's a very unusual series of cuts, where in a matter of seconds, we go from the tree to the inventory to a crafting table. Nothing seems different, but just wait. This is their cheating warm-up. As they approach an iron golem, it sounds like they're doing breathing exercises to physically prepare for the battle. The only problem here is that they built 2 blocks up, not 3, so the golem can still hit them. But just watch.
What up? Oh,
Totally legit. So they make some food, an iron pickaxe, and a bucket. But hang on a second. Did you catch that? When they make their iron pickaxe, they use up all of their iron. And after a very subtle cut, they suddenly have 4 iron ingots out of thin air. Either this guy is a magician or he's the worst cheater in the world. But I honestly don't know. He could be a magician. Watch this.
According to my calculations, if I mine down from this spot, I will fall into gravel. Oh, and would you look at that?
I'm assuming this was the same luck that Dream had in his speedruns too. The speedrunner crafts flint and steel and begins looting the villager houses, and again, did you see what just happened? If I replay the last few seconds in slow motion, there is another sly cut from this goofy goober, and this guy's middle name must be creative mode because you can just barely see that they changed their game mode. Again. Well, inside this chest is nothing spectacular, just a hunk of emeralds, which begs the question, why did they go in creative mode? Well, these next few moments are the goofiest speedrun strats of all time.
Alright, let's see what this guy has to trade.
This guy's username is Slinky, but he should honestly consider changing it to Stinky. You saw it here first, the world's first 1 in a million villager trade. And with their newly found diamonds, they craft full diamond armor and tools. As if this speedrun wasn't already bad enough, you are about to witness the worst acting of all time.
Oh no, we're falling down a hole! Wait, what? What's this?
The speedrunner fell into a huge cave filled with literally every resource needed to make a nether portal. So naturally, they attempt to make a portal, emphasis on attempt.
Oh, come on!
And I kid you not, they actually wasted time on the clock watching a nether portal tutorial.
Oh, man.
This is just so embarrassing. After lots of practice though, of course, the speedrunner successfully builds a nether port. Wait a second. I would literally rather have explosive diarrhea than continue to watch this horrible speedrun. Whether we like it or not, the speedrunner is in the nether now, and I think they're gonna try and channel some of that dream luck from earlier, because they start to mine into a random wall of netherrack, and watch what happens.
At least, oh my goodness, guys, we just found the nether fortress.
What in tarnation? So the speedrunner explores the nether fortress and finds a blaze spawner. After waiting a very long time for the blaze to spawn, I guess they just couldn't wait any longer, as the speedrun is cut and they receive a special delivery of a whopping 64 blaze rods. Santa came early this year. What a miracle. And if you were to ask me if the speedrun gets worse, just watch this next cut. They're in a totally different area and they suddenly have 23 gold ingots. So the speedrunner throws the gold at the piglins to trade and they get exactly 16 ender pearls. For each trade, there is a 2.18% chance of getting 2 to 4 ender pearls. To get 16 pearls from 4 gold ingots, this guy must be the luckiest man on earth. Or his name is Drew.
Let's go back to the nether portal now. I gotta be honest, I couldn't actually find the nether portal, so I just made this one.
Whenever you feel like you've hit a low in life, just remember this speedrun exists. Now that the speedrunner's back in the overworld, they craft Eyes of Ender and attempt locating the stronghold. They dig straight down into the stronghold, finding the portal room, filling the frame, and entering the end. When in the end, the speedrunner displays their extreme agility and skill by doing this ender pearl clutch. They break the end crystals, and once again, the speedrunner shows off their skills and raw talent by doing a water bucket clutch.
Alright, guys.
With all of the end crystals destroyed and only 10 seconds left of the speedrun video, let's guess how this speedrun is going to end. Will the speedrunner propose to the Ender Dragon, throw a meatball at Minecraft Steve, or legally change his name to Gooby? He legally
Alright, just like that, guys, we have killed the Ender Dragon.
Well, that was definitely the most speedrun of all time. This speedrunner starts off by finding a village. They get Frostwalker boots and test them out on the water. Then they mine some coal, harvest pumpkins, and walk on lava. Wait, this is the wrong footage. This is the luckiest speedrun I've ever seen. They start off right outside of a desert temple. The speedrunner breaks this tree, and this must be a new 1.19 feature, because under this tree is buried a treasure chest. They find 64 oak logs, and the speedrunner says this.
Yo, I think this is like 1 in a billion chance.
So they enter the desert temple from the top of it, but while they're breaking the block, they have even more to say.
Seems like it's looted.
Yeah, it was definitely looted, buddy. We know you removed this pressure plate. They jump to the bottom and find stupid lucky items. Netherite armor, a diamond pickaxe, and 64 notch apples. The speedrunner breaks through the TNT, and they find diamond blocks, but it gets worse. Beneath the diamond blocks is the end portal. What in tarnation? Well, despite this speedrunner's miraculous luck, they waste a ton of time digging back up to the surface. Right outside of the desert temple is a ruined nether portal, and the loot inside of the chest is questionable. A netherite hoe? Okay. But they do get obsidian, a fire charge, and more notch apples, as if 64 weren't enough already. So they fill in the nether portal, but again, they waste a ton of time trying to find iron and flint. So the speedrunner searches the temple again, and after a few minutes, they finally realize they can use the fire charge to light the nether portal. This is painful to watch. So they light the nether portal and enter the end, I mean nether. And you know, it looks pretty normal. There's some netherrack, some trees, a chest that says do not take, but we don't have to worry. This speedrunner's a good guy. He's not gonna cheat, and he opened the chest. Also, there's ancient debris right in front of them, but they're so good they don't even need it. So the speedrun returns to the overworld, and again, they go back to their desert temple, diamond shrine, end portal bonanza. Fill the portal with eyes and enter the end. But wait a second, something's wrong, and I'll just let the speedrunner tell you.
Where's the Ender Dragon?
Out of nowhere, someone starts typing in chat saying, I already killed the Ender Dragon. You will have to face me. The speedrunner fights in a grueling battle against this Alibaba.com Ender Dragon, but halfway through, the Ender Dragon sets their game mode to survival. This is painful to watch.
Let's go! Dead, man, you're dead. You're actually dead.
And just like that, this speedrunner secured the world record 100% legitimately.
Subscribe and like.
Hey, you heard the speedrunner, subscribe.
This speedrunner starts off in a vehicle. I must have missed a lot of updates. Oh, what in tarnation? The speedrunner drives over a villager? Dear God, this is not PG. Grandma, close your eyes. The speedrunner parks their vehicle outside of the villager market, entering through the door, and wait, why are villagers being sacrificed into a lava pit? The speedrunner is making great same time bartering with the villagers. The speedrunner is truly breaking a sweat. They're back in their car traveling to another village. Oh no, is the speedrunner really gonna consume the suspicious stew? Yeah, they're eating it. This is not gonna be good for their world record time. Yeah, the speedrunner starts throwing up. This is disgusting. After this horrible experience with the villagers' food, the speedrunner enters into their stockpile and they start chewing out the villagers. This speedrunner is not happy. I don't know what this speedrunner is gonna do. In order to beat this game, they need some sustenance. So they get back in their car, entering a village that has been massacred by the pillagers. Unfortunately, this speedrunner was unable to get their world record attempt because the footage cuts off. Wow.
This speedrun actually made me really hungry. Just watch and you'll see. They spawn on what appears to be the roof of a villager house. Correction, a weaponsmith house. But for some reason this block is just missing. This must be a chunk error. So the speedrunner enters the weaponsmith house and opens this chest. It wasn't a chunk error. If I had a penny for every time I've had to watch a speedrunner get full netherite armor, I'd have enough pennies to give to every single one of my subscribers. Also, I just have to point out, listen to what the speedrunner calls the totem of undying.
Oh, netherite armor and whatever that is, that weird looking ogre thing.
From here on out, I will only refer to totems as weird looking ogre things. The speedrunner equips their newly found armor, but watch closely and see if you notice what happens here. Yeah, there is a very subtle cut to the speedrun, which is made evident by the fact that their timer malfunctioned back to 0 seconds. Either there's a new update that allows hay to grow, or this guy's a big stinky cheater, because the hay in front of him has seemingly multiplied. So the speedrunner collects this hay, then they follow the path leaving the village. Wait, why are they staring at this wall? Yet another cut in the speedrun, and come on, man, did you think I wouldn't notice you changed the hay to golden apples? If you're wondering if this gets worse, spoiler alert, it does. They turn around and there's an unusually tall nether portal that just poofed itself into existence. I guess staring at walls is the best and newest speedrun strategy now. The speedrunner steps into their portal, making great time, and enters the nether. This is not the nether. Was there a new update I didn't hear about? We should honestly start a GoFundMe page for the speedrunner, because I think their computer is just broken. Their timer doesn't work, their nether portal malfunctioned. What next? The speedrunner jumps down this hole, and luckily they do find a working nether portal, depending on your definition of working. So they enter their bootleg nether, and it's got everything the real nether would have. Blaze, lava, a magical frog wizard. Yeah, you're probably wondering how they get 65 blaze rods. Mikey, roll the clip.
If you look into the lava, everything just quadruples. Right, has it worked? It's worked! Yes, the frog has spawned! The mighty frog!
After the speedrunner gets their blaze rods from the miraculous toad, you can probably notice their nether portal is just suddenly working again. So they enter it, and before I show you this next part, where do you think it's gonna take them? Just take a wild guess. The nether, the overworld, McDonald's. Oh man, how did this speedrunner know I love McDonald's? Yeah, I get a Big Mac with large fries and a chocolate milk. Okay, sorry, back to the speedrun. They get Eyes of Ender, portal frames, and a beef patty from the villager, I mean McDonald's employee, and the speedrunner tries to build an end portal. Emphasis on tries. They try building their portal again, successfully entering the end. And the rest of the speedrun is pretty standard stuff, you know? They go into creative mode, their timer malfunctions for the 50th time, and they beat the game in a whopping 3.82 seconds. Now that that's over, I'm gonna go get some McDonald's.
This speedrunner spawns into a very lucky Minecraft world. Is that a desert temple directly across from them? Wow. But something here is very off. Why are they level 299? We're about to find out. The speedrunner immediately turns around, revealing a ruined nether portal. Very, very lucky. They open up the chest next to the ruined nether portal, taking a block, obsidian, and flint and steel. So they fill the portal, lighting the nether portal in record time, entering the nether. And wow, this seed truly is the luckiest I've ever seen. They have a bastion and a fortress right across from this lava lake. Unfortunately though, the speedrunner is doing a technique that I am not familiar with, purposefully falling into lava. They could die here, but the speedrunner explores the bastion, getting some gold blocks. They trade their golden blocks with the piglin, getting 8 ender pearls, which is extremely good RNG, and at this point they use one of their ender pearls to enter the fortress. The speedrunner immediately finds a blaze, getting 2 blaze rods, and in a jiffy they create Eyes of Ender, and they are on their way out of here. We are witnessing a professional at work. The speedrunner uses an ender pearl to cross the map towards a very specific location, digging down into the water, and they find the stronghold. Not only that, landing directly into the portal room. What in tarnation? So they fill the portal with the Eyes of Ender, entering the end. And wow, this seed is crazy. That's an end city. They are breaking the crystals in record time, killing the Ender Dragon in just a few hits, beating Minecraft in world record time, 44 seconds and 35 milliseconds. Holy cow.
This speedrun starts off seeming a little legitimate. They've got a timer, everything's looking okay. They are starting off at an angle, which makes me suspicious. Well, the speedrunner looks around for a bit, and at that point, they locate a village, which is very, very lucky. The speedrunner does find an iron golem, but hang on a second, something here is a little fishy. They are hitting this iron golem, but it is not fighting back. So what I'm curious about is, did they spawn in this iron golem with a spawn egg from creative mode? Nope, never mind. That is not the case. The iron golem starts running away and floating. How is this possible? And yeah, that's when the iron golem just starts pooping out tons of iron ingots, iron blocks, a wooden pickaxe, cobblestone, wood. What in tarnation is going on here? Then there is a very, very sudden cut, and the speedrunner finds themselves right in front of a blue flower bed. Yeah, this seems pretty suspicious to me. Well, they dig down, immediately revealing a very, very long hole. And at the bottom, oh, okay, that's not that bad. It's just some diamond ore, no big deal. Nope, never mind. That is a diamond throne with a pillager on top of it. The pillager starts tossing blocks of diamond at the speedrunner, as well as full diamond armor and tools. And after this happens, if you listen to the speedrunner's microphone audio, there is just so much going on. It sounds like there's two people talking at the same time.
Wow, this is a new feature in the game, in the new version 1.
Dude, stop yapping, what the hell are you yapping for?
I am so confused. Well, the speedrunner starts building back up to the surface with a diamond block, which is just the most cursed thing ever. There is another sudden cut. I don't know why, but now their experience bar looks like a rainbow. Good for them. And out of nowhere, there is a chat box pop up that says that Lands summoned a new lightning bolt. And in the sky, oh no, is that Herobrine in a cat costume? And if you listen to the audio, oh my goodness, did he just say, yo, this is the cat brine?
Herobrine.
Yo, this is the cat brine. No, it's the cat brine, bro.
Well, Herobrine in a cat costume drops obsidian blocks, floats away into the distance, and then if you just listen to the speedrunner talking, they sound so foreign, which for some reason just makes this more entertaining.
Thank you, Herobrine, from the PP land. Thank you. So I should make the nether.
I'm sorry, did he just say I shall make the nether? Well, the speedrunner ends up making their nether in a really strange shape. Whatever. They enter the nether at a world record 3 minutes. Totally legitimate. Unfortunately though, as soon as the speedrunner enters the nether, there is like 5,000 ghasts just going at it, shooting at the speedrunner, and the audio from this clip is hilarious.
Bro,
Was that the notification sound from a Nokia phone? What in tarnation? Well, yeah, after a very sudden cut, their timer has been reset back to a minute. The chat says set own game mode to survival. These guys are just terrible at cheating. Well, the speedrunner is just kind of hanging out in front of this piglin, at which point they break some netherrack and the piglin falls into the hole. But, hang on a second. How in the world is that piglin holding the block of netherrack? Oh no, don't tell me this is their friend again. Well, the speedrunner throws a diamond block at the piglin. Then the piglin starts throwing ender pearls and blaze rods at the speedrunner. The speedrunner is just pooping out so many blaze rods, and you could just hear them screaming in their microphone, is this enough? Is this enough?
Dude, is this enough? Is this enough? Is this enough?
After this very lucky interaction with a very legitimate piglin, the speedrunner turns around and they find a nether fortress, at which point their friend just put themselves into spectator mode. I'm sorry, but you couldn't have just, oh, I don't know, turned off the chat log? So the speedrunner uses their ender pearl to go into the nether fortress, at which point you can hear another phone notification sound. There's just so many of those sounds throughout the speedrun. I refuse to believe that this man actually has a Nokia phone. Oh my gosh, I feel so stupid. I've been calling it the Nokia phone sound. That's just an Android phone sound. Whatever, Android, Nokia, it's all the same. Anyways, the speedrunner is in the nether fortress, even though they have as many blaze rods and ender pearls as they could possibly need. At this point,
you can see that their friend has clearly taken on the role of a blaze. They're floating around like a goofy goober and they start spawning just a bajillion blaze. The speedrunner is on half a heart. There is a very sudden cut where their timer goes back to 1 minute again. It's very clearly obvious that they died and they tried to cut it out. The text log says up there. I am scared to find out what's gonna happen next. The speedrunner starts running away from the Nether Fortress. Again, their friend as the blaze is just shooting across the screen. This is just so goofy. The speedrunner starts getting hit by a piglin again. They're almost about to die. Then there is another sudden cut, and in front of them is a ghast just hanging out, chilling there in front of them. And my first guess is that this ghast is their friend. These next few moments are so unbelievably hilarious. Their friend as the ghast just starts spamming billions of ghast spawn eggs. It is so funny.
This one,
After nearly dying, there's another sudden cut. There's a nether portal that's lit right in front of them. Unfortunately though, they take such a long time trying to get into the overworld because this one piglin will just not give up. When the speedrunner finally does get into the overworld, their game is so beyond glitched. All you can see is a few grass blocks, the sun, and the moon. Their friend leaves the game, their friend joins back into the game. The speedrunner then tells us that they're going to just throw a pearl, and there's a new feature with a new command. Well, surprise, surprise, they do not end up throwing the ender pearl. Their timer resets back to 17 seconds, and then out of nowhere, they're just suddenly in the stronghold with the most obnoxious music playing in the background.
Alright, here you go, there you go.
The command worked.
Yes, of course it did.
Okay, we now just need to find this stronghold. I mean the end portal.
Woohoo, the command worked, good for you. The speedrunner wastes just so much time trying to find the portal room. They run into Herobrine in a cat costume again, and after wasting so many minutes of my life that I will never get back, there is a cut where they're just magically in the portal room, thank God. The speedrunner then begins crafting Eyes of Ender, even though they already have Eyes of Ender in their inventory. So the speedrunner begins filling the portal with eyes, but there is the most unexpected plot twist of all time.
Hello, bro, hey, it's me, emo guy.
Yeah, that's right. The speedrunner was graced with the presence of Emo Guy, the newest feature of Minecraft 1.21. I cannot believe it. Yeah, the speedrunner is given creative mode by Emo Guy. Oh my goodness, how lucky. And both of their reactions is just so hilarious.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Thank you. Really, thank you. Oh my god.
The speedrunner is in the end. Emo Guy dies trying to swim in lava. The way that this speedrunner beats the game, you will never believe it.
Okay. Yes! I beat
I have to go, bro.
I beat the Ender Dragon, guys.
I'm sorry, but just floating around in creative mode at 2 minutes, using a /kill command to beat the game, followed by the Android notification sound, and their friend saying, I have to go, bro, and logging off of Discord is just the funniest series of events ever. You cannot convince me otherwise. And yeah, just like that, the speedrunner beat Minecraft at a world record 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Never mind, their speedrunner is starting again at 0. And just like that, 0.92 seconds. Holy cow. This speedrun is very, very legitimate. Their microphone quality, though, is not.
Alright guys, today we'll be doing speedrun! Alright, let's just create a new world! Also, I didn't play Minecraft for 15 years. Last time I played Marshton wasn't born yet.
It is another speedrun that sounds like they recorded with a potato. The speedrunner opens up Minecraft, revealing a little bit about them. Amazing seed in creative mode, amazing seed in survival. This is extremely suspicious, but the speedrunner does create a normal, legitimate survival Minecraft world. Unfortunately though, the speedrunner spawns into their new world, and it says your game mode has been updated to survival, and there is entity.player.name health bar at the top. What in tarnation? And out of the blue, a countdown timer appears on the top right of the screen. Buddy, that is not how a Minecraft speedrun world record works. And oh man, they're singing some sort of speedrun music while they're breaking this tree. Now, this cat in the corner of the screen, take a note because this cat is going to be very important very soon.
What is that that name tag over there? Oh, I've seen rumors about magic cats in the new Minecraft spot. Oh my god, it's real. Oh, it's the holy cat. Oh, it's flying!
This speedrun is hilarious because the speedrunner runs into their friend, morphed as a cat floating into the sky, holding an iron ingot. This could not be any funnier. The cat is dropping diamonds, gold ingots. The cat is putting on netherite armor and it looks so ridiculous. Then the cat just flies off into the distance. Absolute cinema. I think the speedrunner is attempting building a nether portal. So they light their nether portal, entering the nether, but what is this? What is war vehicles? Well, the speedrunner spawns into the nether, at which point there is a very suspicious cut showing syntax error, unexpected at /game mode. The speedrunner is clearly up to no good. This is so fake. And hang on a second, what is that? Is that their friend morphed into a blaze? It is so goofy. The speedrunner's friend floats up into the sky as a blaze, dropping tons of blaze rods. And then their friend suddenly turns into an Enderman holding I don't even know what. What in the world is that? Is that a Star Wars blaster? Is that a weapon of mass destruction? And the Enderman is giving tons of Ender pearls. Well, the speedrunner creates Eyes of Ender. Returning to the overworld, they throw a single Eye of Ender, and is that a cat floating in the middle of the sky? What in tarnation? Well, this next moment, you're just gonna have to witness it for yourself, and a big warning to headphone users. Now is the time to turn your volume down.
Oh! Wait! My sound of telekinesis, echolocation, whatever that is. Oh my god! It just sent me here in the mighty stronghold.
Yeah, that's right. The speedrunner is having a conniption. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, and out of nowhere, there's a blatant, shameless cut, and they're in the stronghold. Another goofy cut. The speedrunner has just appeared in the portal room, so they fill the portal with eyes, and the cat reappears. But it's only at the end of this fake Minecraft speedrun that the speedrunners figure out how to hide the name tags, which I think is hilarious. Nope, never mind. The name tag is still there. It just continues getting worse because the cat is floating in the sky, building a bridge to the end island for the speedrunner. Totally legit. And if you think it can't get any crazier, it does. The cat spawns a fighter jet.
Oh my god! Is that the mighty Su-30? Oh, you also give me missiles? Fire!
This speedrun is absolutely hilarious. The speedrunner is running around in the most unrealistic Su-30 fighter jet while his friend is zooming around as the most unrealistic Ender Dragon I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh brother, this speedrun looks so goofy. Tony, do a zoom out. Your game has been updated to survival mode. We have a full-on YouTuber intro for the beginning of this speedrun.
My name is Habibi and today I am speedrunning the Minecraft again.
In today's video, my name is Habibi and I'm speedrunning Minecraft. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it, but why does their timer look like that? They've got like the slow-mo effect on the timer and it's really bothering me. So yeah, the speedrunner spawns in a village. They're walking around. In the distance, there is a structure made of TNT that looks rather suggestive. What in tarnation? And I'm sorry, what did he just say?
Oh look guys, I'm naturally attracted to the TNT. It's my favorite thing in life.
What a weirdo. Wait, I'm sorry. Did he just say my favorite thing in life? What? Well, the speedrunner enters this house. They find a chest, opening it up, and there is a bunch of nonsense loot inside of the chest. Netherite leggings with all of these enchantments at level 255. This is just so stupid. I'm sorry, what did he just say? In the new Saudi Arabia version of Minecraft?
Oh my god guys, this is the 0.not% root in the new Saudi Arabia version of Minecraft guys. This is the called the rich man loot, guys. This villager got rich off the oil supplies.
Buddy, I'm playing Java vanilla version. What are you playing? Now hang on a second. There is this mystery. Why did the speedrunner spawn with a lightning rod in their inventory? Well, you're about to find out. The speedrunner puts their lightning rod down during stormy weather, and they are trying to explain that in this new Saudi Arabia version of Minecraft, if you put your lightning rod down and stand on it, you can summon God.
I've heard in the new version, if you get a lightning rod, you can actually summon God.
But hang on a second. There is a monkey wrench thrown into this speedrunner's plans. There is a creeper cropping up on them. So the speedrunner runs away, and then, hold the phone, Tony, do a zoom. Who is that? Who is that man floating in the sky? Well, the speedrunner takes care of business, takes care of that creeper. Then they get struck by lightning on the lightning rod. They look up, and yep, could it be God? But wait, this gets so much worse. Oh my gosh. When the speedrunner wipes out that creeper, they get an advancement, and I'm not even gonna say their username out loud. Let's just put the pieces together here. Buddy said he likes TNT. He said he's using the Saudi Arabia version of Minecraft, and then his username is what? Then I kid you not, I don't want to get copyright struck here, but as God is descending from the sky, is that Duel of the Fates from Star Wars playing in the background?
Oh, look, guys, it's Allah! Oh my god. Can you believe it, guys? Oh my god. This, guys, is in the new version of the Minecraft. So, Allah, can you please help me with my speedrun, please? Oh, guys, he said yes.
The speedrunner says, oh, please help me with my speedrun, God. And then the person playing has their head like hinging up and down, like a full 360 degrees range of motion. If that happened in real life, your head would not be attached to its body anymore. Then, with a wild twist of events, God punches a villager and kills him. What is this? A Grox video? I don't think so. This is an A&R video. And the speedrunner's reaction is just so funny.
Let's follow him, let's follow it. Allah, that was quite unnecessary.
Now keep in mind, we are like 3 minutes into this speed run. I'm air quoting speed run. And I just noticed now, their timer says 28 seconds. This is the world's slowest timer. Well, I don't know what incarnation is happening. The speedrunner enters this house, they open the chest, they get a bunch of crazy loot, gold blocks, obsidian, flint and steel, yada yada yada. And while the speedrunner is acquiring this loot, you can see that God just slayed another one of his own. How cruel, not accurate.
This is so lucky. All we got to do now is build the nether. What's this, guys? Literally a bomb. Oh, yes.
What the heck? Yeah, Duel of the Fates, the choir is going in the background, and the speedrunner sees a new structure. This is a new update to Minecraft that I am not familiar with. The lottery, what? And why is the speedrunner so giddy and excited about this new structure? Inside of this new structure is a chest full of emerald blocks. But hang on a second, now I think I know what that sign is all about. Because even though they just acquired a ton of amazing emerald block loot, Duel of the Fates going in the background, the speedrunner says, wait, what's that sound?
The speedrun is going very... What is that noise around?
Yeah, a ton of TNT sets off. It is a miracle that the speedrunner is still alive. What in tarnation? The next few moments are just such a load of barnacles. The speedrunner is yapping and yapping about some nonsense about the newest Minecraft update, the Pearl Piglin. I have personally never heard about this update.
There is a 0.2% chance in the new version of the Minecraft that you can spawn in the Pearl Piglin's base.
It's such a load of nonsense. The speedrunner climbs up this tree with vines conveniently hanging all about. While they're climbing up this tree, someone gets an advancement, and it's not... I'm not gonna say the speedrunner's username out loud, but we find out that God is actually Snake's Robs. Oh, come on. What a sham. So the speedrunner decides to build a nether portal with their obsidian on the top of this tree. They light the portal, entering the nether with God, Snake's Robs. And yeah, as soon as the speedrunner enters the nether, Tony, do a zoom. That is a sign that says Pearl Piglin's secret base. Well, I stand corrected. Yeah, the Pearl Piglin is here. They throw their gold blocks at the Pearl Piglin. They throw their blocks at the Pearl Piglin. I can't speak. They throw their blocks at the Pearl Piglin, opening the chest. Our speedrunner has gotten another advancement. Again, I am just not gonna say that username out loud. And inside the chest is a bunch of ender pearls. Well, after getting everything that the speedrunner needs, they open up the door, and in the distance, what is that? Is that a sign that says not the corridor to the fortress? How obvious could you be? And I'm sorry, but it is just so funny to me how the speedrunner with this accent is reading the sign as the choir from Duel of the Fates is blasting in the background.
Not the corridor to the fortress. Guys, I have a feeling that this is the corridor to the fortress.
Why did the speedrunner put Duel of the Fates playing in the background of their fake speedrun? Look, I don't have any complaints. I just saw episode 3 in theaters. I've been rewatching all the old Star Wars movies, and I think that Duel of the Fates is such a good song. There is another sign in the distance with arrows on it. Guys, I don't know about you, but when I try to speedrun Minecraft, I'm just not getting these features. Within seconds, the speedrunner does find a nether fortress. And then you hear the goofball of a speedrunner say this.
Oh look, a conveniently placed blaze spawner.
And holy crap, out of nowhere, like billions of blaze just spawn. I have never seen this happen before in my entire career of reviewing these painfully horrible fake Minecraft speedruns that literally give me brain aneurysms daily. How is the speedrunner surviving this? And how did they get a stone sword out of nowhere? This is just so stupid and ridiculous. You could hear the speedrunner say, oh, let's just get 1 or 2 blaze rods, guys. And Tony, do a zoom. They have 64 blaze rods in their inventory.
Let's just get 1 or 2 blaze rods, guys. Just 1 or 2.
What in the world? What a load of barnacles. What in tarnation? Their stone sword has sharpness 255 and looting 255. The chances of this happening are so low, lower than the chances that you guys spell my username correctly in the comment section. While the speedrunner is making their way back to their nether portal, Snakes Robs, aka God, types in chat effect give speed to 255 true, but they never do the slash command, so it's just text on the screen, not doing anything. This is just so sad. And then, after that slip up, there's another text that pops up on the screen, and Snakes Robs just says, sorry from Allah. That is just goofy. This speedrun is just so much nonsense. The speedrunner replies to that text chat, and they go, oh, no worries. And then while they are entering the nether portal, they go, oh, look, the Pearl Piglin found a friend.
Nobody's, bro. Nobody's. Oh, look. But the Pearl Piglin found a friend.
The speedrunner jumps off this huge tree, somehow surviving the fall. And it looks like God does the same thing, but doesn't survive. So the speedrunner turns their blaze rods into blaze powder, creating Eyes of Ender. They throw their Eye of Ender into the sky. And hang on a second, when did their speedrunner reset? Just a moment ago, we were at 1 minute and 20 seconds. And now all of a sudden we're back at 40 seconds. And while the speedrunner is totally legitimately trying to locate the stronghold, you can see their friend Snakes Robs just zipping through the sky. No big deal. The speedrunner is still trying to locate the stronghold, and all of a sudden a text box pops up on the screen from Snakes Robs and says, from Allah, with just 2 coordinates. This is so stupid and ridiculous. And while that's happening, Duel of the Fates is still playing in the background, and the speedrunner will not stop yapping about how there's rigged explosives in the stronghold. Buddy, what are you talking about?
There is rigged explosives underneath the Ender Dragon.
Hang on a second. Tony, I know I've asked you for like 1,000 zooms at this point, but do a zoom. What is that in the distance? Are we gonna find out? Yes, we will. Well, the speedrunner says, guys, I think I found where the stronghold is.
Guys, I think I found where the stronghold actually is.
What in the world is the speedrunner yapping about? He's saying, what?
I can't believe this, guys. Good job I turned on my camera, because I was about to go fly airplane.
Well, yeah, yeah, we did find out what this is. Someone constructed an obelisk in the distance to point out, hey, here's the stronghold. They even went as far as to dig a ginormous hole into the ground, leading to, I kid you not, you can't make this up, the end portal completely filled with Eyes of Ender. So in world record, I don't know what time, the speedrunner enters the end, and luckily this speedrunner has at least a quarter of a brain. They use an ender pearl to teleport over to the end island. But when you think it just can't get worse, it gets 10 billion schmillion times worse. Their timer resets to 0 seconds, and what in tarnation am I looking at on the screen? Is this the 1 in a million chance rigged explosive end island occurrence? I am just so confused. God was killed by the Ender Dragon using magic, and then while it is happening, Duel of the Fates is still playing in the background, and the speedrunner is waiting for the dragon to perch, and while they are doing so, they're given like an icebreaker Severance style, hey, here are 10 fun facts about me, and he will not stop talking about flying planes to the United States. You gotta listen to this.
So guys, a bit more about me from the Ara Who Plays channel. My name is Habibi. My parents run an oil rig. They are very, very rich, and I live in Saudi Arabia. And my hobbies and interests are such as flying planes to the United States, including New York.
I'm sorry, what? Including New York? Why did you have to slip that in?
And also committing acts of terrorism.
Huh? I'm sorry. No, there must be some sort of mix-up or confusion here. This must be lost in translation. Did he just say committing what? Who submitted this speed run? Put your hand up right now. I swear, if you guys submitted this speed run to me for the sake of making a September 2001 joke, I am not gonna be happy. All ridiculousness and weirdness aside, the speedrunner is just wasting so much of my time. Snakes Robs types in chat, Ender FDTR/Agon P search. I think he was trying to see if there was a command to make the dragon perch, but this is just mortifying. It's embarrassing. Get off the stage, you stink. Well, with a wild turn of events, the timer somehow is back to 0 seconds. This guy's timer malfunctions just as much as you guys are unable to spell my username. The speedrunner is unable to find their lever for the rigged explosives, but they find the lever, turn it on, and unfortunately the explosives are a dud. What an embarrassment. Nope, never mind, the explosives go crazy. There are flying TNT carts zooming through the sky. The dragon was obliterated. And yeah, just like that, the speedrunner casually gets the Minecraft world record at 6 minutes and 59 seconds. After dropping the weirdest, most alarming statements that someone could ever say, oh, I like flying planes to the United States, specifically New York City, the speedrunner just drops a casual YouTuber outro. Also, make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching this one.
So guys, thank you guys for watching, like, subscribe, comment, share.
I know that you guys are pranking me with this one. You better knock it off. No more jokes like this. That's it. I'm pulling the plug. This speedrun, everything seems legitimate and normal at first. The world is loading up. They have a timer. They spawn in, but oh no. They're level 16. They're selecting the middle of their hotbar, set own game mode to survival. This is clearly fake. The speedrunner turns around, and not only is there a village right behind them, but there's also 3 iron golems just hanging around. And what's worse is this speedrunner somehow is able to defeat this iron golem with just a few hits with the hand. Totally legit. Then the second iron golem, they're able to kill it in a single hit. Are you kidding me? Getting 7 iron ingots from a single golem. Well, after these very lucky series of events, the speedrunner enters a villager house, and inside there's 64 oak logs. So they turn some of those oak logs into planks, making a crafting table, making an iron chest plate, helmet, boots, leggings. Then everything gets cranked up to wumbo. In the distance, as the speedrunner is exploring this village, they find one of the luckiest structures in all of mankind. The village house. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it myself. Inside the village house is an ender chest with loot as far as the eye can see. What in tarnation. So the speedrunner spends a few moments upgrading all of their gear to netherite, and they continue looting the village, opening up a chest that has the most unrealistic fake loot I've ever seen. It just keeps getting worse. Emerald blocks, golden carrots, enchanted golden apples. What a load of barnacles. What's even worse is the speedrunner breaks a block in the house, and underneath is just a villager trapped down there. What in the world? And the villager farmer is leveled up to the master level. Yeah, right. If you think it can't get worse, it does. The speedrunner continues exploring this village, and they find a lava pool. Wait, why are they jumping into the lava? Yeah, underneath the lava is a bunch of water leading to literally the world's fakest nether portal I have ever seen. Pre-lit. Wow, at world record time. The speedrunner enters the nether, and behind them is just such a load of barnacles. What in tarnation? A nether fortress and a bastion right in front of them. So the speedrunner enters the bastion, opening a very specific chest in the bastion, revealing usual loot except for a netherite sword with unbreaking 3, sharpness 5, sweeping edge 3, mending and looting 3. Totally legit. Well, at this point the speedrunner throws an ender pearl towards the fortress, almost dying in the process, and within seconds of getting into the fortress, the speedrunner almost immediately finds a blaze spawner. Get a load of this guy. The speedrunner shreds through these wither skeletons after killing one blaze, very clearly gets 2 blaze rods until there is a very suspicious cut, and all of a sudden out of the blue, the speedrunner has 64 blaze rods. What in tarnation? Well, around the 3-minute mark, the speedrunner returns to the nether portal, but when they return to the overworld, they are in a completely different location. This speedrun is so miserably fake, it's funny. Well, the speedrunner builds up on top of the tree line, throwing a single Eye of Ender, and wow, would you look at that? The Eye of Ender goes directly down in front of them, as if the stronghold is like, oh, I don't know, right beneath them? Well, yeah, that's sort of exactly what happens. The speedrunner digs directly down into the ground, finding the stronghold, finding the portal room within seconds of exploring the stronghold, and the end portal is completely lit. Oh, brother. This speedrun is getting cranked up to an 11 because when they get into the end, there is a very convenient staircase waiting for the speedrunner, greeting them as they enter the end. So the speedrunner goes up this staircase, purling up to the obsidian pillars, breaking all of the crystals, and as soon as the speedrunner breaks the last crystal, the dragon conveniently perches. Suspicious. So the speedrunner pearls down to the center of the end island, getting their bed ready, but hold on a second. Did you see that? In a split second, while the speedrunner purled down to the end island, the ender dragon just suddenly lost almost half of its health bar. And on top of that, there's already obsidian built in the center of the end island. What in tarnation? And then in the few frames that the speedrunner opens up their inventory to get another bed, what in the world? Where did all of these beds come from? Buddy literally went to a furniture store and stole all the beds. And what's crazy is the speedrunner's timing on the bed breaking is terrible. My grandma could do better than that. You have to break the beds as the dragon is making the turn on the corner. It doesn't matter if this speedrunner is bad or not, because after using up almost half of the beds, the speedrunner kills the ender dragon, beating Minecraft in world record time. Wow, I am so not impressed. This speedrun starts off and they are breaking a tree. Now everything here seems very, very normal. They turn their oak logs into planks, making a crafting table, and they make a wooden sword. But as soon as the speedrunner turns around, what in the world am I looking at? A destroyed village, a bunch of TNT? What in tarnation? Is that the wither in front of them? Then out of nowhere, the speedrunner is doing like a parkour challenge. At the end of it, finding a large copper chest that has a ton of Eyes of Ender in it. The speedrunner then gets into a boat sailing off of the roof of a villager house. Hang on a second, what is happening to the sheep that they just walked by? The speedrunner enters a seemingly random villager house, and inside there is a lever. Upon flicking this switch, a secret trap door opens up. The speedrunner drops down into it, landing into water, and there is literally a powered minecart system directly into the end portal. Now that the speedrunner is in the end, they are greeted by a very convenient conveniently placed staircase up to the surface level, and you're gonna want to brace yourself because this next moment is so goofy. It is their friend with the Ender Dragon head on, just dancing, busting out a jig. So the speedrunners place in blocks of TNT, the Walmart Ender Dragon is placing down end portal frames, and they enter into another end portal, which I don't even think means they technically beat the game. Regardless, this speedrun rotted my brain. Something about this speedrun is extremely ominous, because not only does it say watch till the end, it gets embarrassing, but my username is at the bottom right of the video. I am scared. The speedrun spawns into their world in hardcore and level 43. Totally legit. The speedrunner is not only near village, but right next to a very clearly fake ruined nether portal. But hang on a second, why is the speedrunner playing with their friend QWERTY? Well, the speedrunner opens the ruined nether portal chest, revealing a ton of fake loot. The speedrunner lights the nether portal, entering the nether with their friend, and the speedrunner shamelessly goes into creative mode, placing a fortress right in front of them. Then they just go into survival mode, pretending like none of that ever happened. If that wasn't worse enough, it looks like out of nowhere their friend places a bastion too. This speedrun is just so stupid. In the bastion, they open up a chest, finding tons of blocks of netherite. Boo, you stink! Get off the stage. Their friend drops golden ingots and says have gold to trade with pigs. This is just so embarrassingly fake. And the speedrunner is just dropping their golden ingots all over in front of these piglins. But wait a second, QWERTY said in chat I summoned a few. What in tarnation? It does not matter though, because this speedrunner has 64 eyes of Ender. What a load of barnacles. Then they are literally using hacks, automatically placing blocks below your feet, and the hacks don't even work. And it's only halfway through the speedrun that I just noticed, is the speedrunner's friend literally cross-eyed Minecraft Steve? Well, the speedrunner switches their difficulty to easy, meaning they were on peaceful. Wait, why are they turning around? They are giving themselves fire resistance. The speedrunner kills 2 blaze, and why are they leaving? Well, they turn around and their friend drops an enormous amount of blaze rods. He just pooped them right out. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't think that's enough blaze rods for these 2 goofballs. So these 2 goobers struggle to create another portal to return to the overworld.
Get out of my fire resist. Ding. What do you mean, ding? Okay, get out of the way. Okay, I made another portal. Great. We'll just do that and that. Okay, time to make another. Like light it or something. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, actually, let's just go through it like the easy way. Actually, yeah, the easy way.
And I kid you not, after throwing 2 Eyes of Ender, the speedrunner literally places a stronghold at the ground level. And wow, they find the portal room, entering the end, turning on hacks, at which point their friend says, let's make a fake cut to it deathing. I am face palming right now. Buddy's gotta go back to phonics. The speedrunner is having like a spasm, placing their cod water bucket all over the place. They almost lose their fish and they are just having a wild meltdown. If I have to watch it, you do too.
Place my cod buckets! Oh shoot! Sorry, Coddy buddy! Oh, don't worry. There we go, I survived. Bucket, cod bucket!
This speedrun just degrades into nonsense. They're in creative mode. While the speedrunner is going back into survival mode, you can see their friend floating in the sky, just obliterating the Ender Dragon's health bar, beating the game in world record time. Alright, end the vid. That's at least 100 views. Wait, no, it's going to get 999 billion views. Also, no way I'd be featured in an Aindaru fake speedrun video lols. Well, here you are. That was painful. This speedrun seems normal at first. No, never mind, it does not. Saving replay file? What in the world? What's even worse is their audio is terrible.
Alright, we're gonna speedrun right here.
They are for sure recording with a toaster oven. Why are they recording their speedrun with replay mod? And why is there a chest built into that tree? Oh, we are in for a wild ride. Well, the speedrunner stops recording for some unknown reason, and a timer just appears on the top right of their screen. And when the speedrunner approaches this chest, what in tarnation is in the ocean? I am so excited to break this one down. The speedrunner starts breaking a log as if they don't notice this chest, and their reaction to the chest is just hilarious.
What? There's a chest right here. Oh my, there's so much stuff.
Yeah, inside, loaves of bread, enchanted golden apples, eyes of ender, a book, netherite weapon and armor. The speedrunner opens up the book and it says, "Look for an X in the sea." And not shortly after, the speedrunner is zooming into the ocean, revealing an X marks the spot. How lucky. So the speedrunner swims under the sea. But hang on a second, what is the speedrunner doing?
I have a pickaxe. Wait. Why is the squid looking at me like that? Oh my gosh! He just dropped a pickaxe from me. What?
Yeah, the speedrunner is trying to distract me, thinking that I wouldn't notice that they just made an excruciatingly obvious cut. And they're trying to convince me that what? The squid dropped a pickaxe in the water? In your dreams. So the speedrunner does break this X marks the spot, but they are running out of air very quickly. So they return to the surface, at which point there is another painful cut. And there's a door and a water bucket just floating around in the ocean, having a blast. So the speedrunner uses their newly found tools, capitalizing on this very lucky speedrun, and they dig directly into the stronghold. Why am I not surprised? After exploring the stronghold for just a few moments, the speedrunner comes across a sign that reads, "Close your eyes," and there is another cut. And wow, would you look at that, it's the portal room. So yeah, the speedrunner is trying to convince us to close our eyes while they make the worst cuts in the world. They fill the end portal with Eyes of Ender, entering the end in world record time, holy cow. But while the speedrunner is fighting the Enderman and the dragon, they somehow manage to die by accident and cut it out. Well, the speedrunner is building around the end island with obsidian, breaking the end crystals, just struggling to kill the ender dragon until they pull off a 360, make another shameless cut, and the dragon is dead. And they die. And the scream at the end of the footage is just hilarious.
Oh, just like that, guys. We just won. Let's go, guys. This is so easy. I don't know.
This speedrun right off the bat, they're clearly in creative mode. And Tony, do a zoom out. Those trees do not look vanilla. I have a feeling we are going to be in for a wild ride. The speedrunner turns around and they find the world's most majestic ruined nether portal. I have no idea what I am witnessing here, but somehow this is a thing. And the speedrunner's reaction to what they are seeing is so over the top.
Let's go around.
Things just get so much worse. The speedrunner looks around and they find a chest at this, I'm air quoting, ruined nether portal. Inside the chest is pretty much everything you would ever need to beat the game. What a load of horseradish. What's even worse is their reaction to this. Headphone users, brace your ears. This scream is a little over the top. Just a little. And yeah, just like that, they finally realize that they are in creative mode, so they go into survival mode. So the speedrunner enters the nether portal, entering the nether. I don't know what is happening. This speedrunner is like a walking thesaurus. If you listen to his microphone, he's just repeatedly describing the nether with a ton of very eloquent synonyms.
This nether sure is hot, blazing, boiling, heated, humid, red, scorching, sizzling, sultry.
I don't know what sort of updates I missed. Every single time I review your speedruns, I feel like Captain America waking up from his frozen hibernation. I mean, since when did the nether even look like this? And again, the speedrunner's reaction is just so over the top.
Oh geez, I'm seeing a bridge in the distance. Is this a super big? This is an incandescent to like Nether fortress, guys.
I mean, this Nether fortress is just so ginormous. The speedrunner is fighting a ton of skeletons. They're fighting a ton of blaze. They get their blaze rods, turning them into blaze powder, and creating some eyes of ender. I am so lost with this speedrun. The speedrunner is wasting a ton of time harassing the piglins with crystal PvP, while the speedrunner exits the Nether fortress going up a huge set of stairs, and then above them, what in tarnation is that?
Super purplicious ender star, guys.
The super powerful purplicious ender star? Yeah, that's it. I'm all set. I'm turning the speedrun off. It gets so much worse. The speedrunner found a sword called the Demon Slayer. Their reaction is just ridiculous.
Guys, that is a demon slayer.
After this, there is a huge cut to the speedrun. So much lost footage, like the SpongeBob lost tapes. One moment we're in the Nether, and the next moment we're in the overworld. What happens in between is completely up to our imagination. Then the speedrunner makes their footage go at hyper speed. They're digging down, and as soon as we're back to normal speed, it very clearly says set on game mode to spectator mode, set on game mode to survival. The only thing that is legitimately survival mode is me trying to survive watching these speedruns. They go down the staircase. There is a hallway of command blocks. I'm in physical pain right now.
Now we just go down the staircase, guys.
They're in some sort of hyper-updated stronghold where the pathway to the end game portal is paved with command blocks. They open up a chest in the portal room. It is full of TNT. I'm not saying this with a lot of enthusiasm. What in tarnation? So they fill the ender portal with eyes. Oh, nope, never mind. Record scratch. They run out of eyes of ender. And in a split second, they're typing in a /give command to give themselves 1,000 eyes of ender. Why am I not surprised? So they fill the end portal with eyes, jumping into the portal, and now they're in the end. This speedrunner is shamelessly bridging with barrier blocks. They're breaking the crystals until they blow themselves up by accident. And then they're swearing off camera. Oh man, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? There is another cut. It says set own game mode to survival. And yes, the way that the speedrunner defeats the Ender Dragon is with crystal PvP. And you can bet that the speedrunner was very excited.
We've defeated the Ender Dragon, guys.
Hang on a second though, what is the speedrunner doing? All they have to do is enter the endgame portal, and then they'll be crowned as the world record holder for the worst fake Minecraft speedrun of all time. But instead they fly away from the island, and in the distance is this like creative mode dragon creation. It's really cool to look at, but buddy, can you just like beat the game? And yeah, they put down a ton of TNT blocks, ignite it, and blow everything up, including themselves. And after a very, very long silence, filled with feelings of disappointment and defeat, the speedrunner lets out one final scream. Good riddance. This speedrun starts off in a rather unexpected way. I don't know if this is a personal attack on me or they just like to threaten people, but I guess we have to subscribe. And we are greeted by the lovely sound of... I'm not quite sure, a toaster oven? Regardless, this guy's microphone quality is just horrible. But everything looks pretty legit. He's got a timer, you can see the world loading up, everything looks pretty normal here. But as soon as they spawn, a couple things look off here. Number one, they do spawn immediately into a village, which I'll give them that one, that can happen. But they are selecting the 4th slot on their hotbar, which means they probably have already played in this world and just cut it out. Maybe it's a glitch. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. So the speedrunner turns around, they enter a blacksmith house, and they find some pretty reasonable looking items. Some obsidian, some iron, everything here looks pretty normal to me. They do get exactly 10 obsidian, which is pretty lucky, but you know, maybe it's possible. But when they go into the next house and open up the chest, that's when things start to look just a little bit fishy here. There's just a little bit more bread and wood than you might imagine would appear in a chest. So the speedrunner spends some time reorganizing their inventory, which is a #1 priority when it comes to speedrunning. And hang on a second, I might be delirious, but I think I just saw some something in the distance here. I'm gonna rewind the video. Yeah, I don't know if you see that too, but that looks like a ginormous building with a gold ingot on it. Again, I could just be delirious. Maybe we'll find out later. You may not have noticed what just happened here. For most people, this would go right over their heads. But if you didn't catch it, there was a very slight cut, and for some reason, the speedrunner decided to go into creative mode and then go back into survival mode. He thinks I'm stupid. I'm not gonna let this one get past me, buddy. Regardless, they build their obsidian nether portal, light it, and as soon as they enter the nether, everything looks pretty normal here. They walk around for a bit in the nether, and then they immediately discover a nether fortress, and they also find a very conveniently placed path of netherrack blocks. Good for them. So they jump down onto the path, and the path leads directly to a blaze spawner, which is fantastic news for the speedrunner because they are only 55 seconds into the speedrun, which means they're making world record time right now. The speedrunner kills that only blaze that is available to him, and unfortunately does not get a blaze rod. But I want you to listen for a moment to what he says next.
If I can just get one blaze rod, I should be fine with how good my luck is.
So if you couldn't hear him, the speedrunner said if I could just get one blaze rod, that'd be fine with how good my luck is, which may or may not be foreshadowing for what happens in the future of the speedrun. They kill another blaze, unfortunately not getting any loot from that one either, but on the third blaze, they do get a blaze rod from it. And they must really believe in themselves because they get that one blaze rod and decide to leave. And before I show you this next part, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, The Truman Show. It's kind of like that. They see a nether portal, but when they walk right past it, they've entered some sort of Walmart great value overworld. Now, you know, honestly, if I wasn't wearing my contacts right now, if I was squinting my eyes a little bit, this might fool me. Otherwise, it's very clear that they've recreated the overworld. As to why, I have no idea. But they find a block that I'm assuming is supposed to represent the sun. It turns out it is a yellow shulker box full of 64 stacks of gold ingots, which honestly, I have no idea why that would help them right now, but let's just keep on watching and find out what happens. So the speedrunner takes their miraculous loot, they go into their portal and return to the overworld. And I don't know if you remember earlier how I pointed out a ginormous looking gold ingot in the distance, but that is what the speedrunner returns to. So the speedrunner goes up to the strange and new structure, depositing their gold ingots into it, and in the barrel, they suddenly get ender pearls. I honestly don't keep up too much with Minecraft updates, but clearly I've missed out on a handful of them because I don't remember this being in Minecraft. Regardless, the speedrunner crafts their eyes of ender, they throw them up into the air, but when they jump, they fall into a very large chasm. And when they're in the void, they just suddenly appear in the stronghold. I'm not quite sure how this is all happening, but it's very entertaining. So when in the stronghold, it turns out that the portal is completely filled. The likelihood of this happening is extremely low. In addition to that, there's also a random button in the portal room. So they click it, and honestly, I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen next. That button could do anything. It could create a parallel universe. It could spawn an apple. There's only one way we're gonna find out. So at 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the speedrunner has entered the end, and at least this part of the speedrun looks pretty normal. Unfortunately though, the speedrunner just wastes like a whole minute shooting arrows at the dragon and missing most of the shots. But when they're destroying the end crystals, they get tossed by the dragon. And right when they're about to do some sort of bucket clutch or ender pearl clutch and save themselves from death, yeah, you can't make this up. There's a to be continued sign on the screen. So this is definitely the first speedrun I've ever seen where it was broken down into 2 parts. But don't worry, luckily though, I have part 2 and we're gonna watch that right now. So before I play this clip, just take a wild guess as to what might happen. Maybe they land on the ground with a water bucket. Maybe they do some sort of hay bale clutch. Maybe they throw an ender pearl. Regardless, you are never gonna guess. I'm just gonna play this clip and we can watch it. No. Yeah, that's right. You cannot make this up. The speedrunner, I guess they found themselves in the back room. The funniest part about this is they very clearly screen recorded this video and forgot to edit out the little YouTube logo on the bottom right of the screen. Suddenly though, the video cuts back to Minecraft. I guess the guy found himself out of the back rooms and they're now spawned on the beach with an X marks the spot right in front of them. So they dig down and the X marks the spot, finding a lot of random loot in a chest. Very, very convenient. Unusually though, I just realized that the speedrunner forgot to put their timer up, but oh well. So the speedrunner throws their Eye of Ender and they go running in that direction. Unfortunately though, I don't think that they're actually heading to the stronghold. They're heading to something much, much stranger. Much more strange? You're never gonna guess what they find. It is a very oversized nether portal. Casual. So the speedrunner enters the nether portal, entering the nether, and directly in front of them is a very large path. and the speedrunner decides to do some parkour on this path. They immediately die, and there is a very subtle cut. You know what, I'll give him one get out of jail free card for this one. It was entertaining. So after successfully getting through the parkour, the speedrunner finds another nether portal, and at this point, I'm wondering if this guy made this video just to waste my time. I have no idea what this is leading to. Well, they get into the overworld, and now they're in front of a house. So the speedrunner enters the house, and they find 63 blaze powder just hanging out in a brewing stand. They take the blaze powder, return to the nether portal, and back in the nether, they find a chest full of ender pearls. Well, okay, I guess they have ender pearls and blaze powder now, so they craft eyes of ender, go back into a nether portal, which I am so confused. This is the most complicated speedrun ever. When they return to their cave, it turns out that the stronghold was there. It's just kind of hanging out at the bottom. So the speedrunner fills the end portal with eyes of ender, and they jump into the portal. Of course, I'm not very surprised when they enter the end, and there is a very conveniently mined staircase that leads up to the surface level. On top of that, the Ender Dragon also has like 5 health left. I don't know what else is gonna happen in the speedrun. This has been an emotional roller coaster. Yeah, unfortunately though, there's no other twists and turns in this speedrun. They kill the dragon and beat the game. I have no idea what time they got, because when we reached part 2, they just never used a timer again. That was very, very strange. This next speedrun, there is a lot to unpack here. I'm gonna have to warn you, the audio quality and the video quality is as if this guy recorded his video with a toaster oven. On top of that, I don't know why the sky looks like space. We also have the courtesy of having subtitles directly on the screen. They said they just spawned into the game, but they already have a ton of items in their hotbar. So with all that in mind, this is gonna be a little wacky, I'm sure. So I know it's gonna be difficult to tell because of the quality, but they actually enter the house in front of them, opening the chest in front of them, and it has tons of diamonds in it. And if you couldn't tell that they were surprised, the text on the screen reads, "Whoa, no way." They pick up their diamonds, and again, I know the quality is bad, I know it looks like a few pixels on the screen, but if you can't tell, directly in front of them is an end portal. And the speedrunner, they're very surprised, based on the text on the screen saying, "Oh, what?" So they jump into the portal, which teleports them to, I think this is the end, and there is a red-looking bean in front of them. And you know what, I just realized I probably should have put a warning out to the headphone users out there. The audio is extremely loud. So I guess somehow this speedrunner teleported into the Among Us dimension. I'll give him 10 points for creativity. So before the imposter is about to kill them, they spawn a bunch of guardians.
The guardian angels saved them.
Pressing a button to call an emergency meeting, and I guess they eject the imposter. Then the video just immediately cuts to the Minecraft credit screen. So I guess they beat the game, and this was definitely the most unique speedrun I've ever seen. The beginning of this speedrun, oh, it's gonna make us both wake up. I'm not even gonna say anything, I'm just gonna play it, and you need to experience this amazingness. That's not a word. That intro really made me feel like I was back in 2011 trick-shotting on Modern Warfare 2. Oh yeah, you know the speedrun's gonna be good when it has an intro like that, and when the video quality looks stretched out like a Moist Critical video. And again, I know this one's fake. They're selecting the 3rd slot on their hotbar. It says set on game mode to survival. It doesn't take Bill Nye the Science Guy to figure out this is fake. Well, the speedrunner breaks this tree, they make a crafting table, and they craft some tools. I'm not sure what the speedrunner pressed, but they got a pop-up on their screen saying social interactions are only available in multiplayer worlds. Honestly, I have never seen that before. I have no idea what they were trying to do. Anyways, the speedrunner digs down, collecting 3 granite. I'm honestly not really sure what they're trying to do here. They go to their crafting table and make a thick boat. Then they make sticks, and they attempt to make a granite pickaxe. You cannot make this up. You know what? This kind of thing happens. Just the other week, I was very tired, and instead of putting toothpaste on my toothbrush, I put hand soap on my toothbrush. Granite, cobblestone, what difference does it make? The speedrunner, honestly, they waste like 5 minutes just walking around doing nothing until they start typing /ag I don't know what that means. On top of that, their chat history reveals a lot about themselves. I have no idea what they're doing, filling 473 blocks, or going to the end, falling out of the world, filling more blocks, falling out of the world again. I am so excited to watch the rest of the speedrun. Well, it doesn't matter. The cat is out of the bag now, and the speedrunner just gives up everything and goes into creative mode. They land onto the ground, and I love how it looks like they're going to put themselves into survival mode, but they have second thoughts and they go, you know what, adventure mode, which now that I think about it is probably not better for them. Well, the speedrunner finds a village, and inside one of the village houses, there is a chest with some considerable looking items. Now that the speedrunner has literally everything that they would need, they explore more and they find a desert temple, which is very confusing to me because I don't know why they would need this. They have everything that they would need. You're never gonna guess what happens. They go inside the desert temple, dig all the way down with a sword, which is very slow, and like a dummy, they land right on the pressure plate. And I don't know if you could tell, but they're worried. The text on the screen says, oh no. The TNT explodes, and they land, I kid you not, directly into the stronghold portal room. And you could tell they're surprised because the text on the screen says OMG. For all the parents out there listening, if you don't know, OMG means oh my glob. So the speedrunner shows off their extreme skill and agility by missing a bunch of Eyes of Ender when they're filling the portal. They jump into the end portal and enter the stronghold. Nope, I'm so stupid. I didn't mean to say that. They enter the end, is what I'm getting at. And in the end, the Ender Dragon has maybe 1 health, maybe 5 if he's lucky. And you remember earlier how we found out that the speedrunner filled like thousands of blocks? When they turn around, I think this is maybe what they did with the blocks. And this guy has the gabagools to ask us to subscribe? That is crazy. And if you guys aren't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, thanks. You're not gonna believe it. These next few moments is like a scene from a Michael Bay movie. It's like a fight scene out of the Daredevil TV show. The speedrunner uses their rockets and elytra to blast into the middle of the end island, bringing out their bow, doing a 360 no-scope trick shot, one-shotting the Ender Dragon. That was very, very impressive. And what would have been more impressive is if they just speed ran the game legitimately. Nonetheless, I was entertained, I'm not gonna lie. This definitely gave me a good chuckle. Even though this speedrun has a timer at the top left of their screen, if we zoom out, things are not looking too good. They've got some experience points, they're level 1, and I cannot remember the last time I spawned in front of a tree like this. Buddy is literally talking to a brick wall. Within the first 2 seconds, they back away from the tree, and in the distance, we can see the world's goofiest ruined nether portal ever. Who are you trying to fool here? My grandma could have made a better fake nether portal. And freeze frame, hold it right here. Tony, do a zoom. Is that a wandering traitor on the right? Why is he just standing still, staring at us menacingly? While the speedrunner approaches this goofy ruined nether portal, opening up the chest, finding an unusual amount of obsidian. I personally am way too lazy to fact check if this is even legitimate, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say no, it's not. Enchanted armor, diamond weapons and tools, this is a load of barnacles. On top of that, hold the phone, pause the video. What is that item floating in the ocean in our peripherals? Nah, this guy is crossing the line. We're gonna have to find out soon what incarnation that is. This speedrunner is just such a goofball. It does not help their case that they are blasting ridiculous royalty-free music in the background. Hey guys, it was not royalty-free, so I have to beatbox the music for you instead. Enjoy. They're trying to fill in the ruined nether portal. They're getting hit by the magma blocks. This is just so ridiculous. Did they really put in the extra effort to sync the royalty-free music to when they light the ruined nether portal? So yes, the speedrunner lights the ruined nether portal, entering the nether in a world record 1 minute. Hang on a second though, I hope their computer is okay because it literally took them 30 seconds to load up the nether. They are definitely playing on their grandma's like Intel Pentium. The computer right now is like SpongeBob when he needs water. That thing is struggling to breathe. And hang on just a second. As soon as the speedrunner gets into the nether, I must have missed like 1,000 updates for the speedrun, because why are there doors directly in front of them? And then when they open up the doors, oh no, 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 no. I was not mentally prepared for this. It has been ages since we have encountered the illustrious PP Trader. This is the equivalent of Thanos returning in the MCU. This truly is an earth-shattering moment. While the speedrunner opens up the chest, the gift from the PP Trader, there's a ton of blaze powder, a ton of ender pearls, a bunch of diamond blocks. It's very clear that this speedrun is fake. And I'm not sure what's going on, but there is a chest on the side in this very rare structure. Inside the chest is crimson stem, a crafting table, and sticks. I'm not really sure how that's supposed to help the speedrunner, but okay. Good luck, buddy, with your crimson stems. So the speedrunner, I can't speak. So the speedrunner puts their crafting, yeah, I give up. So the speedrunner puts their crafting table down, trying to craft something with these diamond blocks. But unfortunately, their crafting table lights on fire. The speedrunner panics, everything is on fire now. Their nether portal isn't lit anymore. What, are they being haunted by Herobrine? Or worse, they could be haunted by Noel right now. I was. Oh, nope, never mind. Tony, do a zoom. If you look on the top of the screen, you can very clearly see a ghast. So that must explain the fire everywhere. Well, like a coward, this speedrunner flees the scene, returning to the overworld. They make their Eyes of Ender, throwing an Eye of Ender into the sky. What in the world did I just... What? Yeah, what in the world did I just witness? The speedrunner throws their Eye of Ender into the sky. Then they just start mining everything in front of them like a maniac. And within a split second, they just fall into a ditch directly beneath them. And there is a complete end portal just hanging out, all dressed up with nowhere to go. What in tarnation? So yeah, just like that, the speedrunner is in the end. Why am I not surprised? Even though they are entering the end in world record time, they waste a world record amount of time turning their crimson stems into planks. I don't know what Buddy's angle is here, but it's like he just flew in from Stupid Town. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a brain aneurysm watching any more of this speedrun. This guy is literally using planks to get over to the center of the end island, but he has ender pearls in his inventory. He could just toss one. Hang on a second. Who in the world is that? Oh my gosh, there's no way. Is that the world's most famous speedrunner ever? Snake Death 45? I kid you not, these two goofballs waste a solid 10 seconds in their speed run, and I'm air quoting right now, just standing, staring at each other blankly before something happens. You have to watch this. It is ridiculous. After just staring at each other menacingly, Snake Death gives our speedrunner a piece of paper that is called the Gift of Creative, at which point the speedrunner attempts putting themselves into creative mode, but it doesn't work out because they don't know how to spell. Yeah, what is /GameO? That's almost half as bad as when people misspell my username. I mean, come on guys, what are you doing? Andaria is so majestic, aerial tramway emoji. We believe you. Anundaria, undad, nayan. I love disliking Ayo, what the hell never fails to deliver? I hope you get 1 million subscribers this year. Ayaduru. Obama, ACDC, arachnophobia. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. I heavily regret not picking a YouTube username that was just easier to spell. Anyways, point being, the speedrunner puts themselves into creative mode. I'm hereby declaring this speedrun fake. I know now for sure without a doubt this is fake. Despite all of this speedrun is just a lost cause. This guy is floating around trying to whack at the Ender Dragon. He's nowhere even close to the dragon. This is honestly just painful to watch. The dragon descends to the center of the end island. The speedrunner is ready in hand with a bed, and then they just don't put the bed down. Then they equip a plank and they start hitting the Ender Dragon with a plank, and then it flies away. Buddy really misses every single shot that he takes. Then he sets up the bed and right clicks on it by accident. So the dragon descends again. The speedrunner once again is not ready. They start whacking at the dragon with their diamond sword, and the dragon leaves again. This time around, the speedrunner does get some hits on the dragon with the bed. I don't know what's happening though. They catch on fire. You could see Tony do a zoom. Snake Death is in the distance, just not being useful whatsoever. I mean, come on guys, if you're gonna cheat at this, you might as well do it well. And yes, finally, the speedrunner defeats the Ender Dragon. It literally took them more time to kill the Ender Dragon while in creative mode than it did for them to do everything else in the speedrun. And yeah, just like that, an easy peasy world record speedrun by a player who literally looks like an anime character. Buddy, what is going on with your hair right now? What is this, season 2 of Squid Game? Did you dye your hair red? This speedrun? Oh brother, you are in for a treat. Their Minecraft skin is a sheep with sunglasses and a businessman suit. Who is this, Jay Schlatt playing? Their timer is literally humongous. It is a monstrosity on the screen. And they have a stick. This is very promising. Right off the bat, the speedrunner goes up to a tree, they break it, getting 1 oak log, then they make a crafting table and they put it down. But as soon as they put that crafting table down, it says set on game mode to survival. And when they turn around, there's just 256 oak logs hanging out behind them. How convenient. So the speedrunner makes a wooden pickaxe and a wooden sword, and now they're just in creative mode, literally floating around. And then if I go frame by frame, their timer just jumps up by 15 seconds for no particular reason. And then directly after that, there is a sudden cut where they're just in front of a village. So what I think they were doing is that their timer is actually a video that they're cutting, but they just didn't make the cuts at the same time. I don't know. So the speedrunner suddenly puts themselves back into survival mode after by accident taking 2 screenshots. Then they go into this villager house. And of course, there is another cut. Guys, I know this speedrun is fake, but the end of it is just so ridiculous I had to show it to you. Yeah, in the chest, there's full netherite armor, full netherite tools, whoop-de-doo-dah. The speedrunner is then just in spectator mode. Oh my goodness, do you have no shame? They put themselves into survival mode, then they're in creative mode, and then yeah, the speedrunner says they found this really cool glitch where you're able to find nether portals instantly.
But I found this really cool glitch. It allows you to basically find nether portals like almost instantly.
That is followed by a very sudden cut where they just built a nether portal in front of them and lit it. Yeah, what a cool glitch, buddy. So the speedrunner is now in the nether, at which point the speedrunner begins typing a /locate command, followed by another sudden cut. The chat log says that they were teleported to these coordinates. They're in front of a nether fortress now, but honestly, this speedrunner's video recording software is so bad, it is so dark, you cannot see a single thing. In a nutshell, the speedrunner whacks at 2 blaze rods in creative mode. There's another cut, and then they just drop a bunch of blaze rods in creative mode. I mean, this is just so shamelessly fake. But wait until you see the end. The speedrunner uses a /give command to give themselves eyes of ender. The speedrunner is still in creative mode. They are building a nether portal. This guy does not understand what a rectangle is, like many other fake speedrunners. Buddy, that is a square. When the speedrunner returns to the overworld, they find themselves in the same forest that Herobrine might inhabit. What in tarnation? This speedrunner is 5 minutes into their run, and a professional speedrunner would have probably beaten the game by now. But this goofy goober is locating the stronghold with commands and teleporting themselves to it. They are in spectator mode, and they are still unable to find the portal room. This is just so hilarious. So they fill the portal with eyes. I am honestly not surprised that they haven't died in creative mode yet. This guy would probably find a way to do that. Well, when in the end, the speedrunner has the F3 screen plastered all over their video, on top of their monstrosity of a timer. And underneath all of that garbage, you can see a lot of TNT. Yeah, this goober spawned in 22,000 blocks of TNT, nearly crashing their computer, and they still did not kill the Ender Dragon. And yeah, just like that, the speedrunner beat the game in a world record. Well, hang on a second. Their timer stopped at 9 minutes and 12 seconds, but they did not enter the portal yet. Then their game freezes, and you can hear the speedrunner say this.
Wait, what's going on?
Yeah, there is a flash of light. The speedrunner's timer is gone, and they have been brought to the dark dimension to face off with Dormammu. I don't know what is happening here. Nope, never mind, that's not Dormammu, that is the speedrun master. And this terrifying entity decides whether or not speedruns are legitimate. Yeah, well, the speedrun master deemed this speedrun fake, and I guess the speedrunner will not be able to escape their fate, which is being banished to eternal torture. Yeah, the speedrunner literally wakes up in a prison cell with skull and bones, and when they turn around, it's just a video of a cat bobbing his head back and forth. I guess if you don't like cats, that's considered torture? I don't know. Anyways, I just thought this one was ridiculously goofy, so I wanted to show it to you. This speedrun, I know it's fake. They are starting off in creative mode. What in tarnation? And as soon as they turn around, what in the world is that on the ground? A chest with a sign on it? Oh, brother. Well, the speedrunner drops down on onto the ground level, revealing the sign. Bonus loot to not help beat the Ender Dragon at all, I promise. What a load of barnacles. And the speedrunner opens up the chest, finding a diamond axe, diamond chestplate, and diamond leggings. You've gotta be kidding me. And what's crazy is they are like half a minute into this speedrun, just now realizing they're in creative mode, and they switch themselves over to survival mode. Totally legit. The speedrunner then walks around the forest for just a moment or two, revealing another sign, Nether Portal. Ah yes, very convenient. And directly next to that sign is a dirt staircase leading to the Temu Walmart Great Value Nether Portal, complete with, what is this, purple wool and purple stained glass? Oh my goodness. Well, the speedrunner breaks through the Nether Portal, revealing piglins, a chest, lava, netherrack. Holy cow, this is very, very lucky. And inside the chest is ender pearls and eyes of ender as far as the eye can see. This speedrun is so lucky, on such a world record level, that the speedrunner throws out their diamond armor, deciding, nah, I am too good for this game. But hang on a second, why are they turning around? Yeah, for some reason, they decapitated the piglin, stealing its head. What in the world? Oh my god, they put the piglin head on themselves. Well, the speedrunner throws a single eye of ender, and where it went, I could not tell you. But what I can tell you is this speedrun just gets luckier and luckier, because the speedrunner takes only a few steps forward into the forest. Wait a second, what is that? The speedrunner is literally throwing an eye of ender. It's going in the opposite direction, and in front of them is the most bootleg end portal I have ever seen in my entire life. It just continues getting worse. Oh my goodness. The speedrunner fills in the item frames with eyes of ender, jumping into the end. They break the ender dragon's head off in a vicious battle. They go under this trap door, going into a tunnel. Exiting the tunnel, the speedrunner achieved one of the best Minecraft world record speedruns I have ever seen in my entire life. What in tarnation?
This speedrun, mentally prepare yourself to see this desktop background a lot, and you're gonna understand what I mean in just a few seconds. Right off the bat, the speedrun starts on the pause menu. They're using Lunar Client, and they are in creative mode. If this guy's goal was to speedrun getting banned, mission accomplished. So they run around for a while until they finally realize, oh wait, I'm in creative mode. So they go back into survival, and now the speedrun can commence. They traverse up this mountain and begin breaking this tree like any normal speedrun, until they pause the game and you can hear them say that they're lagging.
Oh, I think I'm lagging.
Thus begins the desktop wallpaper and a lot of really weird noises. A whole minute goes by on their desktop, and when they come back to the game, it very clearly says that they gave themselves 120 oak logs. On top of that, they begin breaking this dirt block, and in this hole is a diamond pickaxe and an item frame and a nether portal. What in tarnation? Well, the speedrunner collects their spoils of war and they enter the nether. At this point, we realize their computer is very slow. So slow that it looks like they're in the purgatory dimension that Squidward got stuck in that one episode of SpongeBob. And as soon as the nether does load in, the speedrunner windows out again. 2 minutes go by. When they come back to Minecraft, you can still see the frame in their previous location, and the next frame is in a nether fortress. Why am I not surprised? So they're in front of a blaze spawner. They're still in creative mode, so they go back into survival. But there's just one problem. The blazes will not spawn. And take a wild guess what their quick fix is. Yep, they window out again. Another minute goes by. They go back to their game, and they give themselves 500 blaze rods. I'm sorry, but you couldn't have done something like 12? And oh, I don't know, tried to hide the fact that you're cheating? Well, the speedrunner continues exploring this nether fortress, perhaps in hopes of finding a bastion. But they press the chat button, revealing the chat history, showing a lot of nonsense. They tried to give themselves an unknown item, Minecraft 150. I have no idea what that is. Locating a fortress, teleporting themselves, and
And hang on a second. Before they gave themselves 500 blaze rods, they tried to give themselves 6,400. Why would anyone need that many? If you listen to the audio, the speedrunner is muttering to himself like a maniac, just saying, piglins, piglins, piglins. Boom, we get hit with another windowing out. And when they return to the game, the chat history says summoned new piglin, and there's a piglin in front of them. There's just one problem. They did not give themselves or find golden ingots, so they window out again, returning to the game, and their inventory is just full of so many ender pearls. This goofy speedrunner wastes so much time manually crafting blaze powder while they are heavily breathing into their microphone. Are you okay? They make their eyes of ender, and boom, again, we window out. Why am I not surprised? As soon as they return, there's just another portal in front of them. What in tarnation? They enter the nether portal, and upon returning to the overworld, their computer is so slow that they have lost the items in their inventory. They are even further and deeper into the Squidward purgatory dimension, so deep in that they begin falling into the void in creative mode. You can see the sun. They literally resort to almost going into creative mode, even though they realize they're already in creative mode, until they are literally forced to window out to fix their game. They return back to Minecraft in a completely different location. Their game looks like they have cranked up the sharpness to 9,000, and how convenient they found a village. After about a minute, they finally realize, oh wait, I'm still in creative mode, so they return back to survival. Approaching this villager, hitting it, but again, their computer is so slow that the villager is literally levitating. It's like a scene from the Matrix. Again, another window out. They return to the game. They suddenly have 11 beds in their inventory. And I know for a fact, this goofy goober is not going to know how to use those beds to kill the dragon. I would bet my channel on it. This guy is throwing his eyes of ender. The computer is so slow that there is like a 10-second delay. And after realizing their computer is so bad and so slow, it is unable to handle eyes of ender in the sky, they window out again. When they return to the game window, if I go frame by frame, it shows their previous location. And the next frame is literally the stronghold portal room. What in tarnation? The speedrunner fills the portal with eyes and they enter the end. But their computer has had it up to here with their goofy cheating. The end just does not load. They start typing game mode creative and they realize that is not going to solve the problem here. Their pickaxe is going haywire. It is bugging out. The cardinal directions on the top of the screen is like the compass in Stranger Things. What in the world? Again, they are forced to window out, return to the game, and it looks like everything is fixed now. Nope, things are not fixed. They put themselves into creative mode, and they try to toss these ender pearls into the void, but the pearls are literally floating in midair, or there are barrier blocks beneath them. I have no idea. Is the end stone invisible? I am so confused. Someone please explain this to me. They window out again. 5 minutes have gone by, and when they return to the game, they have so much health, it is covering the entire screen. There's command blocks in front of them. Not more than 5 seconds later, they have only broken a few blocks and they window out again. What more could you need at this point? I'm not really even sure what's different now. Their regeneration is going haywire. And I knew it. I said I'd bet my channel on it. The speedrunner puts the bed down in a completely wrong location. They by accident ignite it, causing a huge mess. They window out again. And when they return to the game, they are in creative mode in midair, just falling. They start typing game mode survival, revealing their chat history again, showing that they used a command to make their damage set to 100,000. This guy literally would not be able to beat the education edition. They attempt beating the dragon. They can't even hit it. They get tossed around into the sky. A few minutes later, the dragon perches again. The speedrunner is hitting him by hand with endstone. They start typing a /kill command. They have no idea which command to use. Windowing out again. 2 minutes go by. They return to their game, and the dragon is just mid-death animation. How they killed the dragon, we will never know. Personally, I don't believe that they would even be able to kill the dragon cheating. I guarantee their older brother went on the computer to beat the dragon for them. I guarantee. And after beating the game, the speedrunner has a complete meltdown in their microphone to the point where they literally sound like a piglin.
We beat Minecraft! Like and subscribe for more videos!
This speedrun is totally legit. Speedrun world record, this time for real. Speedrun world record, this time I swear. And they're all in creative mode. And what does not help this speedrunner's case is their microphone.
Okay guys, we're gonna start my Minecraft speedrun. Let's create the new world.
But what is legitimate is they created a normal survival world. So the world generates, they spawn in, and everything is looking great. I give this one an A+. But man, this guy's microphone is terrible. Do we have to start a GoFundMe or what? The speedrunner starts breaking a tree. And wait, what's that under the tree? But what in the world? Inside of the chest is a sign that says "Get Trolled LOLXD," but it's okay. There's still hope for this world record speedrun because the speedrunner finds a fully lit nether portal in the distance. Totally legit. And inside the chest, a stack of golden blocks, full netherite armor and weapons, a mace, enchanted golden apples. How lucky.
Oh my god!
So the speedrunner enters the nether portal, and directly in front of them, as soon as they enter the nether, is a blaze spawner with a sign in front of it that reads, "Please don't kill us. This is our only home." This truly is a moral dilemma in front of the speedrunner. Unfortunately, the speedrunner chose death because they massacre these blaze, screaming into their microphone while they're doing so.
I'm so good! I'm so good! I'm so good!
Getting a whopping 6 blaze rod. Then the speedrunner finds a nether brick staircase, and at the top is a sign that reads, "Throw gold in this inconspicuous hole from Notch." And at the bottom of the hole is a bunch of trapped piglin. How convenient. So the speedrunner throws golden ingots down into the hole, and at the bottom of that hole is a chest with ender pearls and gold. So with all of this amazing and outstanding luck, the speedrunner returns to the overworld, and they try to make Eyes of Ender, but they don't know how, so they start having a fit.
Alright, let's craft some Eyes of Ender.
And after a while of troubleshooting, the speedrunner does figure it out. So they make their Eyes of Ender, throwing one into the sky. Wait, why are they turning around? And what is that in the distance? Dream's first house? What in tarnation? Well, they open up the chest, and inside is a treasure map with an X marks the spot not far from them. So the speedrunner approaches this X marks the spot, and in front of them is a new structure that must have been in the most recent Minecraft update. To access Stronghold, you must pass super cool trial, mega insane dream notch parkour. The speedrunner is not even able to complete the parkour. They fall off, there is a sudden cut, but it doesn't even matter because they could just walk around this goofy structure and enter the end. But we're here for the laughs, aren't we? And at this point, I don't even understand what they are muttering into their microphone. It is so clipped. Well, unfortunately, the speedrun's world record might be at risk here because they fill the portal with eyes and it doesn't light. So they go into creative mode, floating up, unable to figure out what is wrong with their portal. So they're breaking the end portal frames, putting more frames into their hotbar, placing them down, and whew, wow, what a relief, they fixed the end portal. So the speedrunner enters the portal and I don't know what's happening. All I see is the void, and they are having a conniption, freaking out in their microphone. In true fake speedrunner fashion, the speedrunner types a /kill command, even killing themselves, re-entering the portal, building up to the end island with end portal frames, and they enter the end game portal in world record time. What in tarnation?
This speedrunner spawns in the middle of nowhere and runs around for a bit. But wait a second, the speedrunner only has 4 hearts and no hunger bar? What in tarnation? As they explore the world, they locate a village. The speedrunner rummages through the houses and finds some decent loot. An iron pickaxe, an iron sword, 3 obsidian. They continue exploring, and on their journey, they kill some pigs for food. But the pigs are getting thrown super high. Something's funny, and it's not my low subscriber count. After spending a few minutes punching pigs into the sky, the speedrunner conveniently finds a ruined nether portal, and they have just enough obsidian to complete it. Coincidence? I think not. But there's just one problem. They don't have flint and steel. Well, they somehow managed to jump onto the top of the nether portal, and on top of it is flint and steel. Thanks, Mojang. So they light the portal, enter the nether, and everything seems normal. Until I started listening to the audio for this speedrun, I noticed that every time the player jumps, he sounds like Mario? Nah, that can't be possible. So they waste a ton of time in the nether until they walk into a dead end. And watch what happens to see if you can spot what's wrong. The speedrunner very subtly made a cut to the speedrun, and after the cut, they travel directly to a bastion. In your dreams, buddy. They find some gold blocks, mine them, and turn them into ingots. Then they find a piglin conveniently trapped behind a wall. But instead of trading with it, they look up, break the block above them, and they get 3 ender pearls. Then they give their gold to the piglin. I don't think the speedrunner understands how trading works in Minecraft. After their completely legitimate means of trading, they continue exploring the nether until they reach a lava lake. Now, I was expecting them to, I don't know, bridge across it, but instead, yeah, somehow they just bounce their way across the nether. They eventually find a nether fortress and punch their way through some blazes, getting 3 blaze rods. And once again, they get right back to bouncing on the lava. But wait a second, is that a nether portal? Did the frame to this portal just grow legs and walk away? So he enters his bootleg nether portal and returns to the overworld. The speedrunner crafts Eyes of Ender, throws one, and goes in that direction. And on their way to finding the stronghold, they instead find a water slide? And it leads them directly to the stronghold. What in tarnation? So they find the portal and it has 2 eyes missing. Must be a lucky coincidence. So they fill the portal and wait, why are they going to third person? Is that Mario?
Here we go!
This baloney head just got the new Minecraft speedrun world record, playing as Mario.
This speedrun looks very normal at first. They're creating their new world, they're calling it speedrun. The world creation looks very normal, but hang on a second. As soon as they spawn in, they are not looking straight ahead. Did you think this was gonna go over my head? The speedrunner approaches this tree and they begin breaking it, but the first log doesn't break, and then they try the next one and it doesn't break, so they go back to the first one, and something is very wrong here. So the speedrunner goes up to this birch tree. They try the same thing. These trees just do not want to break. Then out of nowhere, the speedrun goes into double time like the movie Whiplash, and this time the tree does break. But when the speedrunner picks up those oak logs, they get the goofiest advancements in the entire world. Ruby and sapphire tools. What is cryorite? The recipes they unlock are going haywire at the top right of the screen. But hold on. If I want to analyze this garbage speedrun, I'm gonna have to slow it down. They break another tree, getting more logs, building a crafting table, some sticks, and wooden tools. At which point the speedrun goes back into normal time, and they show off their extreme agility and skill by being unable to kill this pig. Buddy, have you ever played this game before? I do not think so. We're back into double time. The speedrunner digs down, and they get some cobblestone. But as soon as they return to the surface, there is the goofiest Star Wars wipe transition on the screen. What, did George Lucas co-direct this speedrun? And as soon as they turn around, they find an iron jungle temple. Yeah, the iMovie style text is just the icing on the cake here. After a very sudden cut, a whole 2 minutes later, and it looks like the speedrunner just crafted a stone pickaxe. So they break these iron blocks, guessing the key code combination to the iron jungle temple, and behind the doors are diamond blocks. Why am I not surprised? There's just one problem here. The speedrunner cannot mine diamond blocks with a stone pickaxe. So don't ask me why, but they just begin mining these iron blocks with a wooden pickaxe. What in tarnation? That's even worse. Then there is a very sudden cut, revealing some really strange items on the left side of their screen. That literally looks like a block that would be in one of my thumbnails. Well, the speedrunner ends up making an iron bucket, an iron pickaxe, and an iron sword, going back into the temple to mine these diamond blocks. And do not ask me why. It is broad daylight, and they consume a potion of night vision. Again, I don't think this goofy goober has ever played this game before. Well, the speedrunner tries to pull a fast one on us, making a very sly cut where they're just in a completely different location, and they're breaking their crafting table with an iron pickaxe. This is painful to watch. So after aimlessly wandering around in broad daylight with night vision, there is another sudden cut that jumps ahead a whole minute, and the speedrunner is in front of, I kid you not, an iron temple. What in tarnation? After nearly dying to 2 creepers. With half a heart left, the speedrunner breaks this block, and the next frame, they suddenly have every status effect in the book. Strength a jillion billion. So the speedrunner drops down this hole, they fail the water bucket clutch, and inside these chests is exactly what you'd expect. I quote, lots of OP items. And I know you can't see me right now, but I'm air quoting. I kid you not, the speedrunner literally wastes 2 whole minutes organizing their inventory in double time, at which point they discover a village, entering a villager's house that has nothing in it, until there's another sudden cut, and the speedrunner is just menacingly watching over this villager while he sleeps, breaking his bed and evicting him. Boom, another sudden cut. We are a whole minute later. The speedrunner is flying around in the sky like a goofy goober, and boom, another cut. They are underground now in a mine shaft, and not more than a few seconds later, and boom, another cut. They find themselves in a hallway just full of cobwebs, and I do not think they understand how to break cobwebs. Buddy, have you ever played this game before? So they just dig beneath them, and while they have wasted 15 minutes of my time, they have the gabagools to ask us to subscribe, and right after that, there's another cut. 3 whole minutes later. I am failing to understand what is the purpose of these side quests. I am just so confused. This guy is hopping around like he's floating on water. Someone needs to explain this to me. And he finds a diamond mansion. The speedrunner proceeds to, by accident, attack the illagers, nearly dying, until there is another sudden cut. They put down a furnace, and they're just wasting precious speedrun time cooking pork chops. Guys, I don't know. I think I'm being punked right now. After 2 whole minutes of cooking pork chops, there's another cut 5 whole minutes later, and the speedrunner is just in front of a ruined nether portal with 2 obsidian blocks in front of them on the ground. Just enough blocks to fill in the portal and light it. So they light the portal, entering the nether, and what in tarnation is that? The speedrunner just starts going crazy, mining every block in front of them until there's another sudden cut. We skip ahead almost 2 whole minutes, and they found a diamond fortress. Oh, brother. But while they are in this diamond fortress, there is a blaze right in front of them. They need blaze rods, right? But instead, the speedrunner decides to attack the zombified piglins, making them very angry. They run away, nearly dying. Then they just jump off of this cliff, again, nearly dying, until another sudden cut where it is 2 whole minutes later, and they're just standing in front of a nether portal with 2 hearts. I don't know how much longer I can watch this. If you thought it couldn't get worse, it does. When they return to the overworld, their portal spawns in the middle of nowhere above the ocean, so they jump into the ocean when they make another obvious cut, and they just happen to, oh, I don't know, be in a boat now. How convenient. If you are making a movie anytime soon, do not let this guy make the cuts. This guy must be Tommy Wiseau and Neil Breen's editor. I don't know. Well, everything seems normal now. Nope, I spoke too soon. 2 whole minutes later, and they're just falling into a cave. Yep, why am I not surprised? They found the Iron Stronghold. So after wasting a lot of time trying to find the portal room, they find themselves in a dead end. They have a total temper tantrum, breaking blocks in front of them, and now they're typing game mode creative. So the speedrunner has now been playing the game for 38 minutes. They are in creative mode. They attempt to create the end portal, emphasis on attempt. Oh, this is just so sad. They fill the eyes, and they finally get to the end in world record time. Literally unable to jump up a set of blocks. There is another cut. They're in creative mode. There's another cut. They're in survival mode, and after wasting another whole minute, they probably have strength a billion jillion. The dragon perches for probably 1 second. They're unable to kill the dragon. We can't see its health bar because it's being covered by this ginormous lime green timer. And after another minute, when the dragon finally perches again, don't ask me how or why, but the speedrunner by accident throws their sword. Whoops. But the dragon is still taking damage and somehow dies. Someone is gonna have to explain that one to me. So yes, the speedrunner gets away with the Guinness World Record for longest amount of time taken to speedrun Minecraft. 41 minutes is true dedication. The speedrunner creates their world and everything is looking normal. World creation seems legitimate. They're selecting the first slot. They're looking ahead. But hang on a second. As soon as they start moving, they are using a timer, not a stopwatch. Buddy, that's not how speedruns work. So the speedrunner spawns in what seems like the middle of nowhere. I'm not sure why, but they run around this tree. A little suspicious, but let's just roll with it. Well, nothing looks different. So the speedrunner jumps into the ocean and they're swimming. And would you look at that, straight ahead is a village. How lucky is that? So the speedrunner enters this village and everything everything seems very normal, but hang on a second. This house on the right, the door is already open. Totally legit. Inside this house, the speedrunner opens up the chest and they do find items that I believe to be legitimate. Some snowballs, an ice block, some seeds, some bread, a potato. But the speedrunner only takes the blue ice, the bread, and they break the bed. Then the speedrunner puts the blue ice down in a very specific spot. Weird, but okay. They go in another house, opening the chest and only taking potatoes, 2 emeralds, and they break this bed. They go in another house, take more potatoes, take more beds, more potatoes, more bread, another one, another one, another one, another bed, more bread, another bed. Hang on a second. This village is the size of New York City. How many beds are there? I'm trying to figure out why this speedrunner has wasted 3 whole minutes just collecting potatoes, bread, and beds. What is this guy? Dwight Schrute? Bears beats Battlestar Galactica? Anyways, I don't know if I'm being paranoid now, but the speedrunner enters this house. They go inside to upgrade gear, and I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but the top left slot has nothing in it, and then all of a sudden there is an icon present. Again, I don't know if I'm overthinking this. I could just be paranoid, but nothing seems fake about this speedrun yet. This guy has 13 beds. And if you look back at one of my older videos called Beating Minecraft the Right Way, I'm pretty sure there's footage in there of me one-cycling the dragon with like 4 or 5 beds. You do not need 13 beds if you are speedrunning Minecraft. Just wait, it gets worse. Watch this next moment and tell me if you notice anything unusual about it. Rewind the video if you didn't notice it and try and take a better look. Yeah, that's right. If you look closely, there is a very sudden cut. The only indication is that the edges of the screen get slightly darker if I go frame by frame. Why, you might ask, there would be a sudden cut while this speedrunner is just collecting beds? Yeah, that's why. I think this guy is gonna make the American flag out of beds. Now again, watch these next few moments and tell me if you notice what's going on here. Yeah, that's right. If I go frame by frame, there is another very sudden cut. Going from the last frame to the next, they're selecting a different slot on their hotbar. You can also notice a big skip in their motion forward. Well, genuinely, nothing looks different here. So I do wonder if this speedrunner was making unnecessary cuts to throw us off of their trail. I don't know. Well, the speedrunner approaches a very inconspicuous blob of coal ore on the ground, and they begin putting beds down in a very particular manner on this coal ore. And it's really tough to say what happens here because as soon as the speedrunner turns around, there is just a lit nether portal right behind them. What in tarnation? The only thing I can imagine is that if I go frame by frame, there is a very sudden moment where they are selecting a different slot on their hotbar. What I think is going on here is that this speedrunner is kind of like a sleight of hand magician. They're just doing all sorts of wacky stuff in front of us so that we're not paying attention to the real cheating that's going on here. Well, the speedrunner does enter the nether, and unfortunately where they spawn in is not so good. There is literally nothing here. So I genuinely don't know what the speedrunner is gonna do next. Wait a second, what in the world are they doing? Yeah, hang on a second. Did you see what just happened there? If I go frame by frame, we can very clearly see the particles in the air suddenly being in completely different areas, as well as them selecting, again, another slot in their inventory. And when they turn around, the nether portal is gone, and it's replaced by a chest and an armor stand with full netherite armor. Oh brother, way to be obvious. So the speedrunner takes their spoils of war and they equip their full netherite armor, opening the chest, finding basically everything you would need to speedrun Minecraft if you're bad at the game. This is so goofy. Then the speedrunner tosses their bread and potatoes into the lava pit like, you know what, I'm too good for you anyways. So the speedrunner begins digging out a hole to build the nether portal in. Even though that wastes tons of time, they could have just built the nether portal without digging out all of those blocks. But on the bright side, at least this guy knows what a rectangle looks like. So they use their fire charge to light the nether portal. And again, I'm just gonna assume you noticed what just happened here. Yeah, going frame by frame, the golden apples are gone and they suddenly have a water bucket. This guy literally has to cheat because he's not good at cheating. Just let that sink in. Well, the speedrunner walks around and they approach a very specific block and they begin breaking it, only to reveal a very, very long hole with water at the bottom of it. And would you look
look at that. It's the stronghold. And I have to point out how goofy it is that the speedrunner got an advancement for Monster Hunter, but they never got an advancement for, oh, I don't know, finding the stronghold, which essentially means 5 minutes into the speedrun, and that is the first time this player killed a mob. That is just sad. As if this couldn't get any worse, the speedrunner then begins to fill the portal with eyes in the most obscure way possible. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 8, 7, 10, 9, 11, 12. Oh my goodness. Do you not know how to count in order? Well, the speedrunner is in the end now, and they actually did get an advancement for that, which is good news. They tried a water bucket clutch onto the end island, and they failed doing so. But the speedrunner just never picks up their water again. Buddy, you made a whole elaborate series of cuts just to give yourself that water bucket. And for what? To fail the water bucket clutch? But here's the thing. They actually turn around as if like, oh, I need my water. And then they change their mind again, forgetting that they just put a block on the water source, getting rid of it. Well, when in the end, the speedrunner attempts shooting 2 of the end crystals with their bow and arrow, missing both of them. And then they suddenly start building the structure and digging down. Wait, hang on a second. What's going on here? Yeah, if I go frame by frame, the speedrunner suddenly has 31 more experience points, 2 less cooked chickens, 3 less golden apples, and a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, who am I kidding? The Ender Dragon's health bar is gone. When the speedrunner digs up to the surface, there is just a pool of bath water hanging out on the end island. What is that? The Ender Dragon's jacuzzi? I don't know. And what really happened here? I don't know if we'll ever find out. Wait, yes, we will find out. Before the speedrunner enters the end game portal, they look up, and what in tarnation happened up there? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Buddy really built the transcontinental railroad on the top of the end island. And yes, just like that, the speedrunner beat the game in, I guess 7 minutes and 12 seconds. But if you factor in all the cuts and all the lost footage, it was probably about 3 hours.
This speedrun starts off with the world name titled Totally Not Fake Minecraft Speedrun. And everything here looks fantastic. The world generation looks good, they spawn in a very normal Minecraft world, and they start breaking a tree. Until there is an extremely sudden cut, they suddenly have stone tools. So I can only assume, what? Did the speedrunner not want to show us that part of the speedrun? That's not how it works, buddy. Well, after this very unusual cut, the speedrunner does appear to find a buried shipwreck. So they dig down, and eventually they do find a chest. Inside, the loot actually does appear very normal. So they build back up to the surface level, but again, there is another cut. And the speedrunner approaches the most obvious little pile of sand. Upon breaking that pile of sand, there's a chest. What in tarnation? After the speedrunner equips all of their totally legitimate loot, they open up the chat box, revealing just a load of barnacles. You've gotta be kidding me. So the speedrunner uses their rockets and their elytra to fly across the sea, and there's another cut. And what does the speedrunner find next, you might ask? A fully lit nether portal just sitting there. So the speedrunner enters the nether, flying around, and they find a nether fortress. How lucky. So the speedrunner finds Blaze, getting 3 blaze rods. And there's another cut. And somehow their 3 blaze rods turned into 64. What in tarnation? Now you might ask, how is the speedrunner going to return to their nether portal? Well, there's another cut. So they enter through this portal, returning to the overworld. They make their eyes of Ender, throwing them into the sky. And while the speedrunner is flying, there's another cut. The speedrunner is suddenly at the bottom of the ocean. They throw an eye of Ender, and it's going beneath them. So they start digging down until their pickaxe durability almost runs out. There is another cut where they just suddenly have a fully replenished netherite pickaxe. The speedrunner digs directly down into the stronghold, and after a while of searching, they finally find the portal room. So the speedrunner fills the portal with eyes of Ender, jumping into the portal, and they kill the dragon. That was so fake, it was funny.
This speedrun, well, the speedrunner starts off by breaking a tree, and then they make a crafting table, and they make a Dyson fan. Now it looks like the speedrunner is entering into a new dimension, the dimension where he kills a light bulb with a blue paintbrush, and then he got his golden french fry, and it looks like he actually just broke it down into some particles now, the french fry particles, and now he has a dirty penny. The speedrunner is entering the purple Dyson fan territory. This dimension is that of blobs. No, never mind. He's filling the end portal with ice. I knew that. The speedrunner flies into the end portal and he defeats the purple cat. Just like that, he beat the game in 78 seconds. Wow.
Huge shout out to all of our channel members. If you want a shout out at the end of the video like this and receive other special membership perks like badges next to your name in the comments, special Andaru emojis, and more, click the join button to find out more. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and if you enjoyed it, here's more of my other videos on screen to watch now.